Monster Hunter Wilds is taking the gaming industry by storm, and many are trying to play the game in the most efficient way possible. If you are playing on the cloud, you might be wondering if Boosteroid is a decent way to play the game. In short, it is, but I will show you our recommended settings so you can play at your best. Monster Hunter Wilds actually has a separate Steam listing for their benchmark. Now, you're not supposed to do this, but I was able to download it and run it on Boosteroid servers for this test. Don't do this yourself. The game download and then the shaders for this benchmark take a ton of time anyway, so don't bother. Now, the first benchmark I ran was the default settings at 4K. Ultra preset, FSR on quality with frame generation and ray tracing off. Now let me explain this benchmark. First, it's long. It's also broken up into two segments. The first being the cutscene benchmark, and then the gameplay benchmark afterwards. You'll notice that the cutscene benchmark runs a bit better than the gameplay benchmark. You'll also notice that without some additional modifications to the graphic settings, we won't be able to hit a desired frame rate. These are the same settings that we had for our initial first look video. These definitely need to be changed to get a better experience. Look how it performs in town. Low 40s, even hitting the 30s. Not really suitable for our tastes. So for the next benchmark, I'm going to run my recommended settings. Ultra preset with FSR set to performance. You could also lower the settings to high if you don't want to use that strong of a scaling method. And then turn frame generation on. The cutscene benchmark is a completely different story now. We hovered around 120 FPS for the majority of the benchmark. 120 is the FPS we're trying to hit for the entire thing. Now, is this possible for the gameplay section? This is where things go south. Now, please note that the frame drops are basically due to the CPU. Areas where the processor is dominant, like with many monsters or NPCs, the FPS can take a major hit. But even in the worst areas, the lowest FPS we got was generally in the 70s. The town portion only hit the 60s for a short amount of time. Everything else hovered around 100 FPS or more. Now we're cooking. So for those playing at 1080p, you are generally going to get the same results. Since the pain points are due to the CPU and not necessarily the graphics, frame rates at 1080p are about the same. I only got a slight increase running the game on default settings at 1080p, a 5 frame difference. So feel free to use my recommended settings as well. So if you like this benchmark and recommended settings of Monster Hunter Wilds on Boosteroid, give us a like. Also, make sure to join as a member of the channel or join our Patreon and our Discord in the links below. And above all else, make sure to subscribe to keep it locked right here at the only place we can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle. And I gotta say, we're eating pretty well here in the cloud.